Well, good morning everybody. It is day 4 and we've just arrived in Portugal. Yes, Lisbon. We are on the Tagus River and just behind me there, the entrance to the port, the iconic bridge. It does look like the Golden Gate, doesn't it? It really does. And as you can see up on the hill there, we've got, just like in Brazil, the iconic Christ. Beautiful, beautiful scenery. The sun is just coming up. You can see it to my left hand side. So guys, we have arrived in Lisbon. You probably saw it earlier today. It was gorgeous sunshine at 7:15 this morning. We're in the departure lounge. The coaches are outside. We're off to see the Obidos. So we'll tell you all about that as soon as we get there. Oh man. We'll get some pictures up for you of the ship, the front of the ship. She is an absolute beauty. The staff have been absolutely fantastic as well. We've had a real ball. We've got to go and find this coach. Sarah's there, busy chatting away as per usual. She never stops talking, does she? She never stops talking. I know. And as you come out of the departure lounge, we've just got to find where we're going. We've just got to find where we're going. Where are we going? The Obidos.
Charming Obidos.
Number 4. Let's go. Hit number 4, guys. Oh man, apparently it's about an hour or so away, just under, on a good run. And look at it, it's clouded over, but it is warm. I know I've got a coat on, but it is warm. Shore experience, number 4. Is that you?
Number 4.
That's the white bus. I wanted to go with her. Look at her, she's lovely. She's lovely. Can we come with you instead? What an amazing lady. Let's go. Right. I would pronounce the name of the bus, but obviously I can't because I can't speak Portuguese. But this is our lift. We'll see you all in about an hour or so. We have arrived at the very delightful village of Obidos. Now this village dates all the way back to the 13th century and it was a wedding present. It is a very quaint village and it was a wedding present given to his bride Isabella by King Dinas in 1282. Now I guess that there wasn't any Walmart or Asda or Argos around, so instead of giving her a hairdryer or a toaster, he decided to give her a whole village. How fantastic is that? It just goes to show that love has been around for a long, long time. It's only about an hour's drive from the port in Lisbon itself, the home, of course, of Benfica. And here we are very close to the entrance. Take a look at that. Beautifully done, beautifully decorated. And let's go and explore. We've travelled to a taste once again. We are in the entrance of the, well, fortified wall of Obidos. How grand is that? And those tiles that you see behind me date right the way back to the 17th century. Now tiles have been very, very important and precious to Portugal. It was the Moors that came over from North Africa and took a lot of them back, stole them, and all around Lisbon you will see museums that have thousands and thousands of tiles inside them. Pretty amazing stuff. And these walls are pretty high indeed. Can you see that up there? And like I said, they date all the way back to the 17th century. Oh, and now we are inside the grounds of Obidos. It's beautiful, isn't it? Absolutely stunning scenery. We will get to walk around a little bit later. We've only got a short period of time here today. We're looking for the Santa Maria church as well. That is a whitewashed church which has been around again since the 13th, 14th century, the medieval ages of this beautiful, quaint little village here on the outskirts of Lisbon. As you can see, these little cobbled streets all the way through the centre of this gorgeous little village date also back to around the 12th or the 11th century. There's a fair bit of history in Portugal, obviously. The Venetians, about 3,000 years ago, were one of the first settlers here in Portugal. There's a lot of little souvenir shops and things like that, restaurants, cafes, all the way through the stretch of these beautiful cobbled streets. In the surrounding areas, there's around 11,000 people, and it gets a lot of tourists here. As we pulled up into the coach station, well, the car park, should I say, there were at least 15 to 20 coaches, bikers, things like that. So it's a massive tourist what's the word I'm looking for now? Tourist industry, yes, here in the village. Here we have what is a local delicacy, a little bit of ginger in there with a cherry liqueur inside a chocolate cup. How cool, how sweet is that tiny little thing? Sarah's going to be the first to try it, so it's known as Morello? Morello, there we go.
Morello cherry.
Morello cherry.
I'm going to go with the cherry first.
It's not a cherry, that's a little bit of ginger. And it's known as ginger, hence the word ginger. And there's a little pip inside that. Oh dear, just be careful of the pip. There we go. How was that, Sarah?
Oh. I don't like it. It's really, really strong.
Really strong liqueur?
Really strong.
Okay.
Yeah, so
just try a little bit sip of the thing in a chocolate cup. That's amazing, isn't it? How clever is that? Ooh, so Sarah on that one.
No.
You couldn't learn to live with that one then?
Definitely not for me.
Definitely not for Sarah. Okay, I'm going to give it a try. Now I'm going to go straight for a little bit of ginger. Got to be careful because, like I said, there's a bit in there. Ginger, it is known as. Wow. Oh. Wow. She wasn't kidding when she said it was strong. Okay, I'm going to have to do this in one. And then Sarah's going to eat the chocolate for you. Do you know what? That's okay. The actual ginger that's soaked in the cherry liqueur is worse. So there we go. I'll take this back from Sarah. I'll give her my chocolate because I finished that one. There we go.
Just take the cup.
And I'll just take the cup in a second. And Sarah, what does that chocolate taste like?
Don't mind eating the cup.
There we go. Mmm. Gizinha, a local delicacy from Obidos.
Cup's actually quite pleasant.
Excellent.
But
right.
as for the liqueur, definitely not my taste.
No, no. Well, there we go. And that's what Sarah thinks. As you can see behind me, a delightful little museum. And I do believe this might be the only one in the village. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I like to be corrected. Right next door, very useful indeed. We've got the ladies and the gentlemen's. Right, where was our group gone? Let's march on. Wow. There's a turret. We're looking for a body. I think we've got the centre of the village. Let's go check it out. And just behind me you have the delightful Church of Santa Maria, whitewashed, very, very nice indeed. Now you see this square down here, years ago, anybody that was a little bit naughty, they used to bring them to this square and punish them publicly. So you didn't want to be a naughty lad or naughty lass way back then in the medieval ages. Right, on we go through these gorgeous cobble streets. Pussycat. It's a beautiful little pussycat. I'm not sure whether they're wild cats because in Morocco and Northern Africa you do get a lot of wild animals and a lot of wild cats, but I'm not sure whether it's the same, although this is a fairly mountainous area. Now we're heading up to the top of the village, and just behind me there you can see another beautiful church, and it looks as if it's been around for a fair few years. And just behind me there you can see a church. It is no longer a church, they've turned it into a bookshop, but it's very, very nice indeed. Now, it was built in the 13th and 14th century, and then it was hit by a massive earthquake, and then it was rebuilt around the 16th, 17th century, known as the Santiago Church, which in English roughly translates into the Church of St. James. Now, we've been let loose, we are free, we're gonna wander around, see what we can find. I think we might go from left to right and take you on a nice little tour of this beautiful village. You can see the entrance to the fortification. These walls go all the way around the top of the village. Fairly steep. They do ask you not to climb because it's not that safe anymore, although a couple of people are feeling braver than others. You all right back there, Sarah?
I am.
There we go, look. Talk about people being brave. Oh, look at that, check that one out. I don't think we'll be taking the camera up there, so I do apologise. I would normally, but because we've been asked not to. There are sort of steps, aren't there? So maybe just a little exploration so you guys can get a true idea. The steps are fairly warm, but you know what I'm like, I'll give anything a go once. Wow, and what a view, what a view. I will turn you around in just a moment and you guys will be able to see that. I'll go straight back down because I think this young lady wants to come, so I'll give you guys a quick view. Turn that camera around, and there we go, the surrounding areas of Obidos. How Sarah's down there, look. There's our Sarah, give us a wave.
I'm not brave enough.
She's not brave enough, but there are steps, there are steps.
It's fine if you're brave.
Yeah, as long as you're okay with heights, that is fine. I need to get fitter. It's all that food on the cruise ship, guys. That's what that is. Right, what's up here? Let's go and have a quick look. Let's be nosy. You know, like travel tour taste, like to go off the beaten track and to explore. Oh, and it's very peaceful indeed. Plenty of places for photo opportunities. Like I said, this costs £45. There's lots of different paths, isn't there? Okay, you see one down there. I don't think we're going to get long enough to explore all of this. In the surrounding areas, it used to be marshland years and years and years, hundreds of years ago. But the monks came and they got rid of the marshes, drained them all, and decided that the ground was that fertile that they would begin to plant vegetables and crop and all that type of thing. And also there's a lot of wine vineyards, and you can take a tour to these wine vineyards where you can also have something to eat, and apparently you can even stay overnight. So but we're only in Portugal for one day, so that's out of the question, hence why we've done this one. But I don't think we've made a bad choice, do you? Right, which way should we go, Sarah? Let's have a look. So let's continue with our adventure around this beautiful little city. And city, I wish it was. There'd be even more to see. Look at this, wow. Wild oranges. They are oranges, aren't they? Yeah. Mandarins, something like that, yep. I don't mind, I'd eat them. Very, very nice indeed. It's very picturesque. The old and the new. Luckily, not too commercialised. Although, like I said, they do get a lot of visitors here. So we're just walking around the outside of the main walls. And some of the walls, as you can see, are sort of 20, 30 foot high. So, pretty impressive. You wouldn't want to come up against that after marching for a few hundred miles across land, hills and mountains. Now, it was occupied by the Romans from around 200 years before the birth of our Jesus Christ. And then the Spanish and the Portuguese, the barbarians, they got together to get rid of the Romans. So they joined forces. So like I said, it's a lot of history. So they joined forces, managed to get rid of the Romans, but unfortunately the Spanish and the Portuguese fell out centuries later. And that was all because the Portuguese king unfortunately passed away, and there was no heir, or they couldn't find a bloodline. So the King of Spain was also crowned the King of Portugal as well. So that didn't go down too well. And what happened after that? Well, lots of hatred between the two countries, a little bit like the English and the French, and it still exists a little bit today, but maybe hatred is a little bit of a harsh word. Wow, look at that scenery. Gorgeous, gorgeous. And so the Portuguese have this little saying that no good flower and no good marriage comes out of Spain. So there's no love lost between those two. Let's continue our adventure. Behind me you can see a lovely little apricot tree. It is pretty stunning, this place. And see this behind me? Doesn't that remind you of Little Shop of Horrors? Little shop of horrors, little shop. Anyway, I won't sing because it's not raining and we don't want to make it rain. Wow.
Almost looks Jurassic.
It does, that does look Jurassic. Sarah's hit the nail on the head with that one, doesn't it? That plant looks very Jurassic indeed. And you can see up on the walls there, the little defensive bits where they would shoot the arrows and they would see the oncoming enemy, and that would give them the higher ground advantage as well as a tactical advantage. So there you go, you would get a great view of the surrounding countryside. I bet this was a pretty difficult place to conquer. Okay, can you hear the church? Wow, that's bells from the Santa Maria whitewashed church. But what a high advantage this would have over the incoming enemy. Right, I think we've got some steps that go down. I expected a few more people here. As you can see, we still are in COVID restrictions in Portugal. We had to do the locate forms on the phones earlier today before we came out, and also until tomorrow, the 22nd of April 2022, they've got to still wear masks outside as well, although not everybody has been. We're gonna maybe go down the steps here instead of going up around there, because we've got to keep an eye on the time, and I don't know what the time is now, but not that that matters to you guys, as long as you're having fun and enjoying this journey and this adventure here with us. And if you haven't already, please smash that subscribe button so we can take you on many more adventures. Hit the notification bell. Everything's free on YouTube, even us taking you around. I won't charge you for this little guided tour that I know nothing about. I'm just making it up as I go along. You wouldn't have guessed, really, would you? Whoa, these are steep. Wow, I love these. I love these little houses. Apparently there's only 50 permanent residents in the village itself. You could seriously get lost here, couldn't you? Wow, there's loads of little cobbled streets. Tell you what though, you wouldn't want to cycle up and down them, would you? It's one of those places where you would need to walk absolutely everywhere. But I just love the idea of growing your own fruit and veg. One day that's going to be mine and Sarah's goal, just to live like that. Beautiful little roses, there we go. Blue and white seems to be the main colour. I know we've got a little bit of yellow, but blue and white seems to be the main colour. Does that feel like it to you, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look, Lily of the Valley, I think.
Oh, Lily of the Valley. Beautiful, beautiful. But we're not in Wales. I'm confused, I'm confused.
Of the Valley.
Of the Valley, intent. Valley. Right, I don't know where we're going now, so let's just hobble down the hobbled streets. And it just goes on and on.